All right. I want to go back in time. Let's say 24 hours or so before the game. What did you think was going to happen in the Steelers Browns game? Were you thinking the Steelers were going to win? Do you think they were going to lose? What did you think was going to happen?
I thought they were going to win,
yeah,
but I pretty much expected them to play how they played offensively. Offensively. I didn't think because I'm saying like San Francisco's very good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the Steelers, you know what I mean? Like they didn't show any life whatsoever, and it's hard to be able to do that on a short week. So that's kind of
I drink the Kool-Aid like on it's the first game of the season. The 49ers are so good. I'm always optimistic. So I expected us to win. I expected it to be a little bit of a low-scoring, like hard-fought game. Do you know what I mean? And I expected us to not be great on offense, but like at least do something, like a 50% or 40% improvement over week one. Not a backslide and a win.
I predicted a loss.
Did you?
I predicted that it would be the case because preseason, we thought everything was awesome. And then the San Francisco game hits and it all goes to hell. My thinking was they were still going to have problems. They weren't going to solve all their problems in 1 week. This is going to take probably like a month or so to iron out all the problems. And while but they think they did, they think they fixed all their problems. But they're going to get sadly corrected by the Browns, and the Browns are going to kill them, which kind of should have happened. It's almost like it did happen that way because the problems with the offense. Yeah, exactly. I did not forecast one of the greatest defensive performances in modern history.
No. Or a Highsmith touchdown. I was so excited I couldn't stand it.
I venture to say that, and I know I'm not really going out on a limb, but if Nick Chubb hadn't gotten hurt, it would have been a totally different ballgame.
They win.
I'm speaking the obvious, but he averaged almost 7 yards a carry before he left. The game.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they showed the stats like the second, like almost at the end of the game, like the difference, like with Nick Chubb and without Nick Chubb on their running game, and it was like night and day. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Going to be with that kind of guy, but still, it's like they weren't stopping him at all defensively.
No.
They had no answer for Nick Chubb.
Like the only way they stopped him was they only limited him to like 7 or 8 yards. That was considered a stop.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And even the idiot Cleveland coach would have figured out, let's keep giving this guy the ball. Even that dummy would have figured out. I mean, there's literally shirts that say "Run the ball, Kevin."
Right. I mean, it is your formula to success. You don't really need to do much else. Other teams need to have like a balance in their offense, but when you have Mr. Chubb, you can just run and run and run and run and run.
Yeah. What I did not see was the very first play, a pick six. My goodness, that was beautiful. No, I saw. I mean, I didn't predict that. I didn't forecast that.
Yeah.
God, that was beautiful.
It might have been the greatest pick six I've ever seen. Like for a touch, it was so great. It was just such a thing of beauty. There were so many people involved in it. I was thrilled that Alex got a touchdown and all of that. I thought it was great.
I think on that play, they had. I think it's called 13 personnel. It was 1 running back and 3 tight ends. And so Minkah was playing cornerback to one of the tight ends, and that's why he was there. I don't know. Yeah. I think they were trying to fool the Steelers, but the Steelers ended up fooling them. And I'm not sure if Minkah had that interception and then it got knocked away and bumped into Highsmith or what, but that was
like
just
he had
amazing.
It and it got like blooped out of his arms by somebody from the Browns, and then Highsmith caught it and ran it back is what it looked like to me.
Yeah, somebody on the Browns knocked it out of
I don't know who it was.
Right, yeah. Some Browns guy. Some nameless gray face.
Nameless gray face. Gray face. And Juju was right. The Browns is the Browns.
Right.
Yep.
Still right.
But then but then and then Deshaun Watson came back out. Deshaun Watson, they said last year, oh, well, he didn't have a full year and that's why he was rusty and he hadn't played in a while and blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. This year he'll be good. Nah, the Browns are not only the Browns screwed because they lost Chubb, they're screwed because they got stuck with that dude as your franchise quarterback and he ain't it.
No, I mean, it's definitely still early, got the benefit of the doubt, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, he's not showing anything like, and it's hard for us to talk, right? Because Kenny Pickett's sucking a lot right now. And
we're not pretending like he's like the greatest thing ever, though.
Yeah, exactly. But he's just not the guy. Right. Yeah. He's just not the guy. He's not showing any glimpse of, what he was in Houston. And it, it's been like a year and a half. So it's hard for quarterbacks. I was arguing with somebody on social media, big surprise. It's hard, especially for quarterbacks, to just return to that form. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just it's almost just so many different changes that have been going on in the game since he played, you know what I mean? So and
frankly, it's not like he wasn't dealing with a ton of other like adversity and things in his life at the same time, whether by his own making or not. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like all of that stuff is a huge distraction. And that, those guys that are really good are able to shut out all those distractions. When your troubles are legal troubles, there's no shutting them out. You got to attend to them. I said it to Joe earlier that even during the game, at the start of the game, like that first quarter and a half, you had like Joe Buck and Aikman were like, oh, look at Deshaun Watson. He's up to speed. He's back to the Deshaun Watson of old and all this stuff. And then by the fourth quarter, they're like, we don't know what happened to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I have never seen a quarterback have 2 personal fouls. I didn't even think that was possible. I've never heard of a quarterback having any personal fouls.
Did you hear it? He blamed the Steelers. He blamed the Steelers.
Yeah.
In his
press
conference.
Didn't they make it a rule recently? If you have 2 personal fouls, you're out of the game.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. 2 personal fouls, you're out of the game.
Like maybe it has to be more Greek. Maybe it has to be more like punchy. Maybe it has to be more violent. I have to look up the rule, but it's like.
That's what I thought. I thought they changed the rule for that. Yeah. I mean, and that whole thing of bumping the ref, that should have been an ejection.
Yeah, he wasn't even fined for that. He wasn't even suspended. He wasn't. Well, I won't say he wasn't fined because I don't know if they come out yet or not. But he didn't get any suspension or anything.
They gave some goofy explanation. They said, well, it's up to the ref, and the ref was down there restoring order, and the ref decided that's not a big deal or something like that. What do you mean? You bumped the ref? Like, what are these rules?
The ref is supposed to be an automatic ejection.
Exactly.
Because somebody's going to do it next week, and they're going to get ejected, and then there's going to be this big about how it's not straight across the board. And
right. They said, this was in the newspaper, said that the league owners concluded a rule saying that 2 unsportsmanlike conduct calls by a player in the same game will lead to that player being ejected. But he had personal fouls, right?
Right. Maybe that's.
Oh, it's unsportsmanlike.
I thought it was. Okay.
And that's just a personal foul. Right. But still, I like somebody tweeted, I don't know about but it seems like this dude has character issues.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I think the Browns are so screwed, and they're stuck with this guy and his ridiculous. They traded 3 first-round draft picks, and they have this, and he's taking up like half their cap, and they're stuck with him for several years. Like, good luck with that.
And they keep kicking the can down the road, right? So they keep, restructuring, and like, in a couple of years, they're gonna owe him like in one season, like 80% of the cap is gonna be.
They restructured. They restructured it this year so that he only takes up like 18 million or something like that. But what that did was
do that forever.
Well, that's the thing.
It just punts it.
So now what happens is the remainder of his contract, his cap hit is $68 million.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Huge.
It is. It is insane. They're
going to be shopping for running backs at like Filene's basement. They aren't going to be able to pay Nick Chubb. What are you going to do? How are you going to?
Gabe's.
That's the thing.
They'll be getting the running back that has like one arm's too long and the other arm's short, and the neck is all stretched out or something.
They're good.
What we should do? We should give him Gunnar Oslusky.
Oh my goodness!
Launch for free.
Launch that dude into the sun.
Please.
That kickoff play was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
Did you hear Mike Tomlin say
after
today?
The fair catch? Who does that?
They asked him at the press conference today, did he ask Gunnar about that? And he's like, you know what? Sometimes I don't want to ask because I don't really want to hear the answer. Like, what was he doing?
What do you say? Now, I don't remember what happened after that play, but I think like instead of having the ball on the 40, if you let it go out of bounds, they ended up on the 9, and I'm pretty sure that was one of those drives where they turned it over or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then that play where he got rocked. So he's not a returner and he's not a wide receiver. Oof.
Right.
Boy.
But I wouldn't trust him around the water.
Yeah, he might drop the water too. Yeah.
Yeah. Fumble it.
He would. Yeah. If Gunnar, or whatever his name is the water boy, he would spill the water in like right near TJ Watt, and TJ Watt would walk and like break his ankle or something like that. That's how bad of a water boy he would be.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. But the big thing is, what the heck is wrong with Kenny? I did not see this coming. My goodness.
I don't know.
It seems like he's really trying. He's trying really hard. You know what I mean? And we all appreciate that, Kenny. I just feel like he's trying too hard. He's like zipping it. He has a different throwing speed or whatever the hell they call that this year than he did last year. And I know he was working on that in the offseason with his QB coach, but it's like he's almost like he's moving too fast. You know what I mean? Like, I know you have to move it. You know what I'm saying? He's just trying to zip it.
He just looks out of sync with everything. Do you know what I mean? He just looks like out of sync. Like, I know they're talking about like him not seeing people. He's not reading the field well. Like, I don't know if he's like in such a hurry that but then other times he holds the ball way too long. Like, he took a sack last night where I was like, why didn't you just throw that away? And I don't know. He just seems like he's not synced up with the offense. And I don't know if it's just because it's early in the season. Do you know what I mean? But then the offensive line doesn't look that great. So then I feel like some of the blame goes to them too. Like, they don't, I thought they were going to be so much better. And
they look bad.
And they look bad.
They're not even, I mean, Jalen's able to get some runs going, but I mean, but that offensive line, what is going on there? They're supposed to be better. Yeah,
they're supposed to be. It's basically the same line except for Sayamalu.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be better, and they got worse. Yeah. Now I know. Now Cleveland is supposed to be known for their defensive line because they have, Mr. PFF Myles Garrett out there who apparently had a better game than TJ Watt. I don't know. I hate
bananas.
I hate PFF so bad. I think they have an anti-stealer.
You can sort of say that. There's nothing subjective about it. Like, the man had intercept. Like, how do you say that when he had all those interceptions? I mean, like, the stats just totally contradict that.
Yeah. Did they miss the part where he picked up the fumble and scored the game-winning touchdown? Did he? Did PFF? Did they shut off the TV before that or something?
Well, Garrett really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Garrett really didn't do anything.
No. Yeah, I'm looking on, speaking of PFF, I'm looking on PFF. And again, whatever to PFF. Right. But it is kind of it does kind of gauge, you know what I mean, a little bit of how players are doing. Isaac Sayamalo has a 42 offensive grade for the season so far. 42.
Wow.
57.5 against the pass, or pass blocking, and 38.6 in run blocking.
That's out of 100, right?
Yeah.
That's bad. That's all bad. Yeah. Every offensive lineman is grading bad. Dan Moore apparently graded really bad last night. Yeah. But then again, he was going up against, Myles Garrett, who apparently is, the darling. But we thought them offensive line would be better, and it's just not there yet. And And let's talk about Najee and Warren. Okay, we talked about this on your show, by the way, House of Yinzer. Make sure you subscribe and watch and what's the other thing? Oh, like and subscribe. That's all.
Like and subscribe.
That's all the pros say. But we talked about it on when you had me on. We talked about, well, what do we think the carries are going to be between Najee and Jaylen Warren, and I thought it was going to be like 70-30 Najee. I thought it was going to be, mostly Najee and a little bit Warren. But after last night, I'm done. Warren is just flat out better than Najee, and he needs to play more.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was sort of like all off season. I was like, Jaylen Warren, like he's not gonna never, you know what I mean? Like Najee's gonna be like he was in the last half of last season, you know what I mean? And I was like, you know what I mean? And I was all like anti the people saying that Jaylen Warren should start 2 weeks, and I'm kind of like, you know what? I sort of feel, not that I'm saying like he should get like 90% of the load or be the bell cow or anything, but they need to definitely use him more.
Yeah.
Than they are.
I think Najee just I'm the last person to tell anybody this, but I think he needs to lose weight. I think he's too slow.
Yeah.
Jaylen has that burst and Najee doesn't.
I think too that they run differently, and the kind of running that Harris does is not well suited to what our offensive line does. Do you know what I mean? So because our offensive line isn't blocking well for the run, Harris isn't able to get anything going. Do you know what I mean? He's that kind of power runner, and he's just not able to establish anything, because when he does run, he's dragging guys behind him still. And you see him, when he is able to, when they block for him, it looks good. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like not all of it, but some of it is on the difference with the way the two of them run and the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line was supposed to be blocking better for the run this year, and we're going to be this powerhouse running team with this dual threat running backs and all this garbage, and none of that is happening.
Yeah. I mean, they even said that the offensive line is tooled for the run game. You know what I mean? They're all of them across the board are better run blockers than they are pass blockers. So it's like, what is
supposed to be. Supposed to be. Right.
Yeah, historically. What are they doing? I don't even know.
No, Najee lost to me. I'm done. I'm done. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if it wasn't for those 2 runs that Najee had, he would have had a horrible game. He would have had like 1 yard a carry or something like that.
0. Yeah. What about Joey Porter Jr.? That was so exciting at the end of the game with his big pass deflection. I felt really happy for him. I wish he'd intercepted it so people would shut up.
He made a big play.
Yeah, he did. I wish that he would have intercepted it so people would shut up about how he never intercepts balls.
I wish he would play him more, awesome. To be honest with you. I know that he's only in certain packages and whatever. But
so
it'll keep increasing though, because Levi Wallace didn't look good. Do you know what I mean? He was getting burnt like the whole game.
Levi Wallace is the Gunnar Olszewski of the defense.
Right. Yeah.
He really is.
From what I understand, Joey Porter Jr., the reason why he's not playing as much is they're bringing him along slowly.
Right.
Tomlin talked about it today in the press conference and just said, look, he saw more play time in week 1. Do you know what I mean? Then he saw more than that in week 2. And I think he said it's like that, what do you call it? Like a natural progression or something like that, natural maturation or something that they'll progress and keep seeing more and more time. But I think as the other guys aren't performing so well, like Pat P didn't look great. Levi Wallace didn't look great. You know what I mean? You got Joey Porter Jr. in there making plays. Why would you not have him in the game?
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't just that one at the end, but there was that one crucial one earlier in the game where he broke up. It's like
in the red zone. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, but I want to see more of him. I think they got a dude in Calvin Austin. I am loving this guy.
Yeah.
Right. I'm so happy.
Me too.
Love him. Love him.
Now, George Pickens had 10 targets. But only 4 receptions, and I think that was mostly because of Kenny. But they did connect at one time, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
they had to figure out, okay, what do we do without Deontay? Because Deontay is open on like every play, and he's like he's the safe, security blanket, and he's not there. So they had to figure something out, and I think they're still figuring it out. But at least they were trying to get Pickens involved a lot, and man,
it was frustrating to watch Kenny, though. Like, he had that play where he threw that interception, threw it right to the defender. I mean, it looked like he threw it right to him, then turns around like, a little bit later and like threads the needle to Pickens on that other pass. I'm like, how can you do that? And then you threw it to the wrong team 5 minutes ago. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. How are you so bad? He's not always bad, and he's not always good. He's just very inconsistent. You don't know what you're getting from play to play with him.
I think that's what's so hard. You see these like flashes of brilliance or good plays, do you know what I mean? And you think, yes, like this is it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, that it's not. Never mind. We're back to what we were doing before. And it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I have a theory. I hope this isn't true, but I'm blaming Matt Canada.
Yeah.
Last year, because Kenny was a rookie, they dumbed down the offense or whatever, or they simplified it or whatever. Maybe this year they said, oh, okay, well, you're not a rookie anymore. We'll give you the full Matt Canada experience. And he wasn't blowing his brain.
It's like a haunted house.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, we're gonna stick your hand in some eyeballs or something like that.
Right.
We need a name for TJ Watt and Highsmith. Why do we not have a name for them yet?
Yeah, they do need like a duo name. I'm not good at that.
It can't be Batman and Robin.
No.
I don't know. We need to come up with a name.
Think of that. Think of something.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's think of something.
Wighsmith now.
Wighsmith? Smith dot. Because they call him Smitty, Smith.
Right.
No.
I love that James Harrison was in the crowd, and apparently someone talked to him, and he's like, I want to be here for this. I'm so happy for him.
So
Records are made to be broken. I mean, that's really cool that James Harrison is. I hope he comes back into the Steelers family, because it sure as heck ended badly for him at the end for him. But yeah, I mean, and TJ Watt said he helped him out his TJ's rookie year.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to do that, but he went out of his way to help TJ out. It's like that's really cool.
Love that. I love that.
The Chubb hit. Did you guys see the actual hit that Minka had?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just Minka. It was, I don't know who initially hit him, and then Minka came in.
I think Holcomb, and then Fitzpatrick went in.
Yeah.
And
I didn't think it was bad. I know the Browns fans are upset. I didn't think it was anything different than everybody else does. I don't know what you would have expected him to do differently. Do you know what I mean? I understand they're frustrated. I said to Joe earlier, I think you always want to blame somebody, and I can understand that. It's really tragic that Chubb is so hurt, but I don't think Minka did anything wrong.
No, and I'm sort of hoping, I sort of feel like once the dust settles, I think Chubb is going to come out and be like, you know what I mean?
Hope so.
It wasn't, you know what I mean? Because it could have been the way, I mean, it's the same knee that he injured in Georgia, which almost stopped him from, getting into the pros. Yeah. And it was the way, his foot was planted a certain way. And I mean,
it's just a freak thing.
Things happen. It was a freak thing. Things happen. People get injured. It's the risk you take when you play the game. I'm very sorry it happened to him. We've dealt with like tragic and career-ending injuries in Pittsburgh too, and season-ending injuries, and it sucks. I mean, we did it last year with TJ Watt. I realized it wasn't as bad as this, you know what I mean, potentially, but it sucks when one of your best players is out like this. So it's really tragic. I was proud of the fans for doing the right thing and being classy about it. Because you have to wonder
the
if you were
fans showed a
Cleveland,
lot of
what it would have
respect.
been like. Yeah.
Because when Ben was carted off,
respect him.
Because when Ben was carted off, was that like
at him.
Cincinnati or Cleveland? They threw beer bottles at him. It's like,
trash at him and stuff. Yeah.
Like, that's the difference between Steelers fans and Browns,
right?
At least,
between
Steelers fans and Browns fans. So
I did see a lot of Browns fans like recognizing that on social media. Do you know what I mean? Today, I saw a lot of like that was a dirty hit, but I saw a lot of people who recognized that they appreciated that the city of Pittsburgh was supportive. I mean, he's a great competitor. He's an amazing player. Somebody that brings so much to the game. I don't know how you don't have respect for it. And Minka is not a player that's like normally associated with like dirty hits and stuff like that. So I just don't know how you can think that he would be doing anything that was intentional to hurt somebody.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I would imagine most of the Steelers want to see Chubb play. They want a competitive game. They don't want, to win because
and it's your fellow, brother out there.
Right.
You don't want to see anybody, get taken out. And it's like, but it's like, oh, that was dirty. Like, what do you want him to do? They're running 100 miles an hour and he's trying to hit him anywhere. Oh, by the way, the best running back at the league that you need several people to bring down. What do you want? What do you want him to do?
Right.
Yeah, and it wasn't on the goal line or close to the goal line. I mean, he was trying to score. He was keeping them from trying to score. So it's like,
and that's the thing is, I mean, now you can only hit people in this like narrow little window with their body, and and it's unfortunate, but sometimes things like this are going to happen.
Yeah, the crowd, I believe at one point was chanting like Chubb, which just showing respect. And then they were chanting Fire Canada.
Yeah.
And
two most important things of the night.
Shout out to the Steelers fans for not selling their tickets to Browns fans or whatever. Or maybe if there's some 49er fans still in the town, maybe so glad they didn't sell them to them or whatever. But
right.
But it is pretty cool to hear 60,000 people chant Fire Canada.
Right.
And then when they ask the players afterwards, they're like, "Did you hear those chants?" They're like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." Like,
right. Yeah. They were just
big
that
signs
was the right answer.
And everything.
What were they gonna say? Yeah, we heard it. I mean, man.
I love Tomlin's response at the press conference. He's like, yeah, the fans are passionate. I want them to be passionate, and I share your passion, and just
to be fat and sassy and spoiled.
Sassy.
That's exactly what
I love it.
So
I'm already there. I check all the boxes. I'm fat and sassy. That's that's now there was University of Pittsburgh, they're kind of going through the same thing with their quarterback, and they were actually the crowd was actually booing them, and the quarterback did not handle it well. It's like, oh, you should grow up or something like that if you're a grown man booing me. Like, no, that's not how you handle it. You handle it how Tomlin said it.
Buddy.
It's not how this works. They're just gonna boo you more. So I cannot wait. I know next week is at Las Vegas Sunday night, and then the next week after that is Houston. The next home game, I guarantee it'll be the loudest chant you've ever heard of Fire Canada. I don't care. I don't care if they win the next two games 70-0. Then it'll still be a fight. Now we got the idea. Now that's all you're gonna hear from like the minute they get into the stadium.
Yeah.
And boy, Vegas is bad. If we go out to Vegas and lose, they're a bad team.
I think that they're going to win because I think Vegas, the Raiders actually suck.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers are maybe the number one team in the NFL, but
unbelievable.
The Browns are, they're so good. And the Browns, they're not awesome, but they're not bad either. That is a really good defense.
Really good defense.
And if like you said, if Chubb was still healthy, they probably would have won that game. So that was another tough opponent. But the Raiders are not a tough opponent. That is, they have like three good players. Right. Two and a half. You count Jimmy
and
G.
Two of them are Max Crosby.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, just stop Max Crosby and you're fine. So,
yeah.
So I think it's going to be an easier game, and I think they say, well, when they play the Raiders, it's always tough. This isn't in Oakland. This isn't, Oakland was like a hellhole. They're in Vegas. I think it's going to be like. I think it's going to be like a Steeler fan takeover. I think it's going to be like 75% Steelers fans. So it's going to be another Steelers home game.
People going to that game. A lot of people going to that game. How many like Raiders fans could there be in Vegas? Because you have to have like some other team allegiance if you live there prior to them moving there. So what do? Do you change your team allegiance? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you travel from Oakland? Are people in Oakland still Raiders fans? Like,
that's a great point. How many native Las Vegas people are there? Right. I mean, Las Vegas is, people from all over the world. Right. So yeah, they're fans of it's just like in LA. There's no real Chargers fans in LA or even Rams fans.
Here. It's the same down here. There's like a little group of Dolphins fans and like a little group of Tampa fans. Well, and Tampa was good, for a bit, so they have some fans. But then the rest of everybody I know down here in Florida is who knows what team from
Giants, probably.
Yeah, a lot in New York.
Whatever they are from when they came from up north. So yeah, I think they're going to beat the Raiders, and I think they're going to beat Houston. They better, because I'm going to be at that game. And then we'll see what happens. But
yeah.
And they have the Raiders after that, so it's not like they're going to be able to, and they just got to keep up the consistency or get back to being consistent on offense.
Yeah. Keep your foot on the pedal or something, so to speak. We've got to improve. We've got to show some improvement. I mean, I understand that it's like a joint effort for winning a game. Do you know what I mean? And so you want your defense involved. Yay, it's great that your defense can score some points and help you out, but you cannot count on that. You have got to get your offense doing something. And so I don't know what is wrong with them, but I hope they find some cure for it this week and we look somewhat better going into Vegas. Because if we look awful in Vegas, that's going to be really concerning.
Yep.
It's all on Kenny. Kenny needs to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He needs to stop doing, I don't know if you see those furniture commercials he does. He needs to stop doing furniture commercials. Maybe that's it. He's oh geez.
Somebody got married. That's obviously why he's bad.
Right. Since he got married, I'm like, he was not that great last year. Just calm down.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Well, because he was consumed with wedding planning all last year.
Ever since he shotgunned that beer, I blame what's that country music singer's name? What's his name?
I'm not
Kenny
sure.
Chesney? Whose concert was he at? Kenny Chesney?
Luke Bryan or something like that. I don't know.
There you go. Luke Bryan. I blame Luke Bryan. It's his fault.
Yeah, there you go.
That beer is still in his system. He's playing drunk.
Yep. Yeah. Breathalyze the man.
He needs to get with Aaron Rodgers and get some of his hallucinogens or something.
Go on a darkness retreat in his life or something like that. Oh, okay. Did you see? I forget what play it was. I think it was when I think there was a turnover or something like that, and they were determining who. I think a Browns person fumbled or something like that. I think
the review. How long?
And the review took a long time, but Pat Peterson started dancing with one of the Browns.
No, I didn't see that.
I saw that. That was bizarre.
Like dancing, like ballroom dancing?
Yes. No.
So you know how they did the cha-cha and then did the No, they did the when there was a fumble, the one team's like, we got it or they got it or something like that. And Pat Peters was like, yeah, we got it. And he's right next to a Browns guy and he convinced the Browns guy. I was like, come on, do it with me. We got it. And the Browns guy's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you got it.
I was like, is this guy crazy? What are they doing? It was so funny. Speaking of dancing, I was so impressed with the way like Cleveland's whole defense gets together and does these like celebrations together after they do something big. Did you see that? Like they all come together. It's obnoxious when you're losing and they're down in the end zone or wherever and they do this like big celebratory thing all together. But I guess they were talking about it during the game. Huh?
They had nothing else to practice, so might as well.
Right. They got Juju leading them in dance moves. But they were saying during the game that it's like one of the things this group has done to like build like camaraderie or whatever in the defense is that they've worked out these like elaborate little like celebratory things, and they all come together and do it. I was like, maybe that's what our offense needs. They can have Gunner do that since he shouldn't be catching any more balls. He can start planning celebrations.
Gunner could be the choreographer. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, the defense has had enough big plays that they could, they're doing their practice on the field after every time they score a touchdown.
Yeah, that's right.
Shout out to the Steelers defense for I won my fantasy football week because
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was
that's
amazing.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll see how things go. Crazy game. I'm shocked we I thought this episode was going to take about 3 hours with all the things that happened, so we were efficient.
All
right, hey, everybody, remember, go who do you have on House of Yinzer this week?
Mike Asti.
Ooh, he's good.
He is good. Yeah, I'm excited. He did the show last year and was great, and so we're thrilled he's agreeing to come back. So that'll be tomorrow at 8.
I never thought of having him. He's really smart. All right.
All
right, guys.
Maybe our people could.
I never even thought of having him on. Yeah, I should
ask him. He's really good. He's great. He's super nice.
Yeah, well, I talk to him on Twitter all the time. So, or whatever the heck they're calling it now. All right, guys. Good luck and
thank you. See you later.
Good luck and Godspeed.
Right. Godspeed. All right. See you.
All right.